Hey guys, Wolfgang here. Um, this is a short introduction video to the whiteboard I've created as a walkthrough for my CSPO classes, because in the submission guidelines it says I have to deliver some material. The issue with that is I use the Scrum guide in my classes and some handouts, but this is definitely not enough to give you a grasp of what my classes are all about. So what I've created now is a Mural board, and I'll share that with you in a second. And in this Mural board, there's a walkthrough, there are descriptions, explanations, exercise descriptions, there are videos, there are photos. Yeah, I hope it's enough to get really an impression what I do in my classes. And there's also the mapping already included to the learning objectives for the CSPO classes and also for the Scrum Foundation. So yeah, like I said, I hope this is giving you then a good understanding of what my classes are all about, what I do in my classes, and that's what I want to share with you. I just share my screen. There are actually 5 videos now. This is the general introduction, and I did another one for every half day, so just a couple of minutes, 3 to 5 minutes maximum. So I'll share with you my screen now. And what you can see on the screen now, I hope, is, is the Mural board. And up here, this is the general description. And then we have these 4 swim lanes in which all the half days are. Yeah. So first half day before lunch, second half day after lunch, first half day before, second half day before lunch, second half day after lunch. So these are the 4 swim lanes, and these are my, I call them course sprints, which I use in my classes. So I've taken some of the ideas of Scrum to also run my classes. Of course, they are not really sprints, but the concept, the idea is pretty much the same. So what's up here in the top line, as you can see, it's a CSPO walkthrough. Here are the learning objectives, as you can see them hopefully. And the CSPO learning objectives, there is a purple post-it, a purple sticky attached to it. Every time you see a purple sticky in the swim lanes, that means it has to do with the learning objectives. So there's a mapping to the learning objectives. Yes. And there's some further explanation what it means in terms of what I explain, how the learning objectives are met, and so on. So every time you see this purple sticky, learning objectives mapping. Then what I do in my class is, for the management of the class, I use this board. Yeah, call it sprint backlog, call it, no, it's not a sprint backlog, call it a Scrum board. Here is the course backlog, the work in progress, and when we think, when also the participants think it's good enough, I've understand enough, then I'll put it to done. Yeah. I start usually with the Scrum and Agile basics, so that's mainly Scrum foundations, learning objectives. Then we go right into the product visions. We do an exercise for that. I'll explain it later in more detail. We go over the backlogs, backlog items, and backlog refinement. So that's pretty much day number 1 in total. And on the second day, we talk much more about business value, risk management, definition of done, and agile mapping. I have also included here the headlines from the learning objectives that you can see on which day, which of the areas in the learning objectives is covered. Yeah. So in the morning session of day 1, there's, for example, product owner core competencies and Scrum Foundation learning objectives covered. On the second day, describing purpose and strategy, parts of understanding of customers and users, and so on and so on. If you read through that, like I said, this is also some kind of mapping, some kind of consistency explanation to the learning objectives. Whenever you see a yellow sticky, that means this is what we do in the class, how we do it, what I explain, and so on. So it's sometimes a little bit overlapping with the purple ones, of course, hopefully, because otherwise it wouldn't make sense. But this is giving you a little bit much more information sometimes about what is said, what is done, how it is done, and so on. Cool. And that means okay, the course material is highly interactive and so on. It's a little bit of a description in general how my classes work. Yeah, not just the CSPO, also the CSM classes. It's pretty much the same in both then. And that means this is the general explanation. And in the next video, which you can see then down here, there will be a link here, is what I'm talking about then about the first half day before lunch and what we do in there. So that will be the next video. Okay, see you guys. Bye.